multiple hours of community service. Once they take the class, then they have 100 of their hours taken away.
Excellent. Excellent. And have you seen growth other than the plants? I mean, have you seen great growth in the participants?
From the beginning day to the ending day of class, you see a lot of change in the students.
Mm-hmm.
When they first come in, they're not really too interested in gardening. And I'm not saying they're going to go out and be master gardeners when they grow up, but they do see some usefulness that we teach them. And we also get a camaraderie to establish between us and the students. And that helps them, I think. It helps build their self-esteem some.
Yeah, I think just the fact is that you deal with a young man or a young lady that and you talk to them like they're adults and they get to do something, and then the amazement of saying is that didn't come from Walmart.
Exactly.
I think some of these people have never seen a tomato grow or even had the idea that when the vegetable grows what it was. I mean, what kind of result have you seen?
I like to see when they come in, they have like a chip on their shoulder. They don't want to be there. The judge has told them they're going to be there. And so you have to get around that. And that way you get to know them by talking to them. And in the informalness of out in the gardens, that way they will open up to you and they will tell you everything. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of nice that all you have to do is listen. That's what they want. They just want somebody to listen to them. And it's fun to see how they will like snatch a little tomato off the vine, or they'll snap a broccoli head off and they'll just pop it in their mouth. And it's just amazing. It's like, wow, this is good.
Have you warned them about the hot peppers about doing that?
Yes.
Watch the habaneros. Just don't want to pop those in your mouth.
Right, and they do that.
Oh, no. So now what judge works with you on this program?
This is
Judge Swafford.
Good.
Talk about Judge Swafford there, Ricky. How did
Judge
this get
Daniel
go?
Swafford.
Daniel Swafford. Get a little closer to the microphone. How did you guys approach him, or did he approach you?
He is. He watched a presentation by the Master Gardeners. Mike Arnold was doing a presentation, I believe, at the Ruatan Club, and he saw that presentation. And we had the garden at the juvenile courts for about 4 to 5 years prior, and he thought that the combination of a classroom and bringing in the Master Gardeners could improve the program. So he contacted Mr. Arnold, and the partnership began.
It's great, and I know Daniel very well. I can call him Daniel because we graduated high school together, and he's a good judge because he knows all the things you shouldn't have done as a youth.
Yes, he does.
So
He'll be calling you here in a minute.
Daniel's done a great job, and or Judge Swafford, I guess. You probably call him Judge Swafford. I'll call him Daniel, but I just called him Danny when we were younger, and when we were in trouble all the time. So.
Well, Judge Swafford invited the Master Gardeners to one of his court sessions, and it was an eye-opener seeing how well his rapport is with the children. And he's firm. He's tough. And if there's a problem, he tells it like it is. And if it's a problem with the parent, he tells it like it is. And he just says, how are we going to fix this? And that's where we get some of the children in our class.
Right. Well, I like that in a judge. I know before him, Van Deeken was there. And
Yes.
if anybody knew Judge Van Deeken, he was very stern and stiff and everything. But
Yes.
I think that's what you need in that judge, fair, stern, but because I think a lot of the kids, and Ricky, you probably see this, that they've had no family life, or their family life's limited, so how many kids have you had in the program now?
Our largest class was 16 children. We've had 3 classes, and then we had 12 in the second class and 11 in the third class. So we've had 3 classes. But it really is, it's a lot of tough love, and that's what comes through.
Well, that's great. Now, do they do you do any kind of classroom stuff with this, or is it just your hands in the dirt, or do you explain to them how the seed works, and we do in our Master Gardener class? I mean, have you done some of that with them?
We do. We do about 45 minutes of the beginning of the class is inside, and it's actually in the classroom. It's in a meeting room they have there at the Justice Center. And then we have a snack, and then we go outside. They have some hands-on experience as to where they actually plant seedlings and begin those. We do plant some of those out in the garden. a lot of ours are plants that we buy or people have donated to us that we plant outside in the garden. We also do some activities with the worm bins. We learn how the worms eat and what they don't eat. And we let the kids actually have their own personal individual worm bin they're responsible for. It's a small container, and they have a few worms in there, and they feed them. And
they name them.
Yes, they do. And then they get to put them out in the garden so that they can go on and do some more work out there. They learn about vegetables, as well as we do some with flowers also.
And what we've done is there are about 12 volunteers from the Bradley County Master Gardeners Organization. And 2 of us, Leslie and I, are Bradley County certified teachers. And the rest of them are like our assistants. And what we did was we went to Texas A&M's Junior Master Gardener curriculum and modified it for Tennessee. And then that way, Leslie and I have made up the program and revised the program, and then we teach it, and then we have our helpers sometimes help us teach, and sometimes they have, like one lady is excellent with insects, another lady's excellent with herbs, and then they will come and they will do a little spiel that night. And so that gives us a break of it's not always the same 2 people teaching.
Right. Yeah. And so what type of vegetables did you normally grow? Do you grow, just, are you growing just tomatoes, or are you growing, what all have you tried to grow?
We have several, in the years past, we've done strange stuff like sugarcane. Of course, we have the cabbages, we have tomatoes, we have peppers. We also do peanuts. There's a young lady that's doing peanuts this year. We have a strawberry bed. We have an herb bed. And we have several flower beds there also for the students to tend and plant and arrange and do decorations.
Now, where are the gardens at?
They're located behind the juvenile center. It's up on our hill. It's basically started out, it's a dirt berm, and Judge Swafford would call it chert.
Yes,
so we did raised beds because the soil was poor. And there's 13 beds behind the juvenile center. They're 9 by 18.
Wow. Now, that was the location of Big Spring School, and I'll guarantee you there was no topsoil on that site when the school burned, and then they built what then was the Justice Center. That was just we've on our history show we had people coming from Big Springs, and basically you played ball out there, and it was education because there's so many rocks and dirt because all the topsoil had washed off that hill there. So I was going. And behind the Justice Center, so where could you grow behind? So you raised beds, yes, definitely.
And we get soil donated there. We've built the soil up, and Clayton Beatty's given us a lot of garden mix.
Yeah,
He's
Clayton Beatty's a great guy.
Excellent helper.
Good investment.
If people, you said people donate plants, and I don't. Do you need them now, or are you too late in this season, or?
Well, we're getting to the end of this class. In fact, next Tuesday night, the 20th, is our graduation night. We have one night where it is donated to graduation. The raised beds will be open to the public for 30 minutes. They can come between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. The students will be out there, and they'll answer your questions about what they've planted, what they've learned.
What night was that?
It's on a Tuesday, May the 20th, from 5:30 till 6 o'clock is the open house, and then we go inside and they have a graduation ceremony.
Great. Well, I want to come to see that.
Please do.
I want to see the raised beds and see these.
I wrote it down because Sunday afternoon at 6 o'clock he's going to look at me and go, "Now when is that graduation?" That's all he'll remember.
That's true. But that's a great thing. And
Tuesday at
how many in this class?
11.
11. Okay. Boys, girls, or a combination, or.
We have 2 girls, and the rest of them are boys.
The classes are usually a little heavy on the
boys' side. Yeah.
We tend to get in a little bit more trouble. I know.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we just need some guidance
We do.
and something to do with our time.
I think it's great that you grow different things. I've got cotton seeds at the house, and I want to grow cotton. I've never actually grown cotton. Of course, I've not grown a lot of things. I have planted many things. So I'll have to come ask them some questions, and they can help me with my gardening.
Please do. They're ready for it.
Well,
They
good.
are.
Good.
They are. Ottawa Nursery donates plants to us sometimes. Lowe's helps us out. Bradley High School, Luann Carey's
Yeah,
group
yes.
helps us out over there.
Great greenhouse there. Yeah.
Ace Hardware.
Yeah. And what if there's individuals in the future, if they have greenhouses or plants and they want to donate them, will you accept them?
Oh, we will. We'll definitely accept it. Yes. We don't have a greenhouse facility there. It would be nice to have something there to house the plants in.
So if anybody wants to donate something now, there's
There you
do
go.
you have
Somebody
room
has
for-
a greenhouse in their backyard that they're not using anymore. I'm sure these folks will put it to good use. A
Yeah.
We
small
certainly
one.
would.
Room? What kind of room you're talking about?
for a greenhouse. Do you have a place for one?
If it's a small one, yes,
Okay.
we could do a small greenhouse.
We can
There's
put
a
it on the
location.
roof over there.
Well, there's actually a better location that's
Oh.
closer to the garden than the roof.
Okay, good. I'm definitely going to have to come see all that. But yeah, just all that's very, very important. So, and if you'd like to get involved, what if, Master Gardener's class is a class, it's a 16-week class that's put on by the UT Extension Agency here in Bradley County. And if you're interested in that, there'll be another class next year.
Yes.
And you can call what number? 728-7001.
7001.
Get
That's
your
on
na-
the master gardening test.
Yes.
That's why they know.
Make sure you call and get your name on the list. There's a fee for doing it. It's a 16-week course. Meet 3 hours, one night a week for 16 weeks. This year it was on Thursday. And it's just been, I'll graduate June 5th
Very good.
if
Very
I pass
good.
my test.
You will.
Yeah.
Number one question is, what should you do? Get your soil tested.
Correct.
I found that
Correct.
because you don't know.
Correct.
So if you talked, I know you talked about the worm castings and everything. Have you teach them other about composting and improving the soil?
We
Yes.
certainly do.
But tell people that are listening that don't know how to improve their soil. Give them a little idea.
How to improve their soil
Yes.
after they have a soil test.
Uh-huh.
You can add amendments to it, add your worms to it, and also by composting, taking your vegetable skins, no meat, no pits, like a peach pit,
Yeah.
and no bones, but if more vegetables, and you put it in with your clippings when you mow or your leaves when you rake, and then that turns into a nice black soil. It's very, very good for your garden. And then when you're ready, after you till the garden, then you put that in and till it up in there, and then you're ready to plant.
One of the great examples is if you go out into a forest, that untouched forest, and dig down in there, that ground will be
That's correct.
black
That
and
is-
dark because all those leaves have composted down in there. And so
And what people don't know, in their compost pile, they need to have greens and they need to have browns.
Browns, that's exactly
Yes.
right.
That's right.
The soil, you can put chemicals or fertilizer into the soil, and the soil will hold that chemical and feed the plant, but it does not improve the soil.
Correct.
The soil is going to stay the same unless you add some kind of organic back into it,
Right.
and that leaves, and at the end of the year, do you just do you grind all of your greenery up and put it back into the beds, or what do you do? How do you compost those old
Many of
plants?
us have compost bins,
Mm-hmm.
and when we take all the roughage out of the gardens, when you're cleaning it up and winterizing it, then you just put it into the bin, and what it can do is it rolls, and then it just always keeps moving around, and then that way, and you add a little water, and then it gets nice and gooky, and it's
Nice and gooky.
gooky.
Yeah.
So.
When it gets gooky, it's ready for the garden, right?
Right.
That's right.
And then when you winterize your garden, you can put a cover crop in it if you'd like to, or you can just let it go, or you can plant winter vegetables.
And if you have a horse, just follow the horse around and add that to your compost
Yeah.
also.
Chickens too.
Chickens and any of that stuff also does very well in there.
Yes,
and,
it does.
If you ever go up to the Amish gardens or the Mennonites or anything, they collect all their horse droppings.
Yes.
And they have very good. Now, if you have a garden area and you'd like to improve it immediately, composting takes a little time.
It does. It has to
and-
heat up and cook.
Yeah, and your table scraps is not going to be enough to amend a large garden area. you can go to places like Beatty's, and they have
Yes.
and some of the other nurseries, and they have a mixture. They'll have
Yes.
some sand and some topsoil and some mushroom compost in there,
Yes.
and you can buy that and put that in there. And, you know, if you have a big garden spot and really want to improve it, you can go buy a load of it and get out there with your shovel and spread
And
it.
spread it around.
That's right.
Till it in there.
But so there are ways for you to improve your soil immediately.
Yes.
In this area, the soil's not really great and not very deep either. That's
No, we have a
No.
lot of clay here.
Yeah.
A lot of clay.
Folks, you're listening to Make It Grow here on Whoop FM 99.9. You can call us here at 614-5553. If you have a question about the junior gardening program that's going on here, or if you have a question about any planting problems or that you have, Ricky said he can answer any question. He'll say call 728-7001. That's the answer to live. No, but if you do have those things, and next week will be our last program coming on. I think Miss Mumbarger is coming in to talk about perennials.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you have to sit up straight when she's in here. She's an old English teacher, and
Former English teacher.
she
Ron.
was very, very interesting. It went above my head really quick after about like the third perennial she mentioned. But I like perennials. You plant them once and you don't have to do
Yes.
anything else with them.
True.
I like my whole flower bed like that. Plant something in there once and then don't ever touch it again. Don't work that way, does it?
No, you have
No.
to touch it.
Yeah. I can grow weeds.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I've got that down pat now.
We've taught the students how to weed a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
and poison ivy. For some reason, I've got poison ivy all in my ivy now.
Oh, dear.
Yes, and it keeps coming back.
No, that you have to pull out by the roots.
Yeah, but I don't want to get.
Put some gloves on.
So how many? You had 3 classes now, and when will the next class start?
The next class will be our fall class, and it will start August 26th.
Okay. Now, who's going to pick all these vegetables these people have planted, and the class ends next Tuesday?
Well, we hope we have some volunteers to do that.
We've had a couple of the master gardeners volunteers to say that they're going to harvest it, but also the staff there at the juvenile center will do some harvesting, and the plans is to try to sell some of the vegetables to make money for the program, so we can put back money into future materials, classroom materials, and also gardening materials for the garden.
Okay, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock every Saturday morning. We're here, and you give us a call, and we'll help you sell those things for you.
Great.
Well, we got
Thank you.
we got a caller here. Let's see. They did. Good morning, caller. I think I missed you. Call back, please. 614-5553.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see the flashing light from here.
It sneaks up on you sometimes. We used to have the phone would ring, but it sort of didn't sound good with the phone ringing there, so we put in this light. So call us again, caller. There they are. Let's see who it is. Good morning. You're on Make It Grow.
Hey, Ron. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bullet. How are
what's
you?
up, buddy?
Since I don't have a green thumb, I'm having problems with these. I don't know what they're called, but they're tall, about 5 feet tall, and they look like a hedge. And I notice on one side they're getting brown. I was wondering if they might could tell me what to do about that or something.
Are these at the cemetery, Bullet?
Yes.
Has someone sprayed them by accident, you think?
I don't think so. No, I don't believe that's what's happened. I don't know what's wrong with them, really. They're turning brown on some of the stems on one side.
Just on one side?
Yeah, most of them. Well, it's just most on the stems. I just broke them off, the ones that was dying, and I don't know if that's good to do that or not.
When you broke it off, did it have any green in the stem at all?
Just look, the leaves was turning brown, and I just thought it'd look better if I just break. I don't know. I hope I didn't do the wrong thing. Just break them off.
Well, we had a very rough winter. We have some bushes that are doing the exact same thing that your bushes are doing, and we think they got frozen a little bit. And so we're just waiting right now to let the leaves drop off and see if anything comes back.
Oh, okay. And Ron, you need to maybe ask them what to do about them squirrels. I was at your house last week, and I thought they was going to attack me.
Get a gun.
Yeah, I've got a little.
Did you see the turkey, Bullet?
No, I didn't see no turkey.
We have one lonesome turkey that hangs around in our yard, too. Then I think she might become a troublemaker, too.
But these little squirrels, they keep scattering. You know what they keep scattering on? What is that they're scattering on your deck out there?
The bird feeder.
Oh,
One of them will get up and shake the bird feeder to get the seeds to fall out of it, and then all the rest of them, they just throw them everywhere when they eat them.
well, they're cute little squirrels. They looked at me and smiled, I think. But
No, they were getting ready to bite you.
yeah.
If you
All right, it's good talking to you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
I know I was out at Zaxby's out at Dalton Pike the other day, and their entire hedge line in their drive-through window is dead as it can be. And I'm thinking that somebody came through and power washed with hot water or something, but I'm thinking, I think you're going to have to replant those plants because they have them perfectly manicured, but they're just dead at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's only on one side, but it could be north or
Yeah.
side or something. Anytime that you have a problem with some plants or insects, collect those, take them down to the extension agency, and they can help you with that. Call them 728-7001, and the address is on Church Street in the Ag Building. If you knew where the teddy bear used to be, pass it, and it's on the left there. If you need better directions, call the number. But you can take in plants or problems, or if you don't know what a certain type of tree or plant is, if you'll bring several leaves, not just one or
Yes,
two,
yes.
so that they can look at it and tell you. Some of them will be able to tell you right on spot. We have a new assistant agent down there now, just hired, so we'll have a little bit more coverage. So,
And it's a lot easier if you bring something visual for the people to see than try to describe it because it could be anything.
right.
But if you actually bring the problem in and show them, then that gives them a better visual.
What's been your biggest enemy to your plants there at there? What insect gets you the most?
Cabbage worms
Right.
we had,
Yes.
which made it very nice that we went right into the insect unit, but still, we didn't want the worms eating the cabbages either.
Now, what type of worms are those?
Those are the ones that the little white moths lay their eggs in the cabbage, and then when they hatch, these little green worms come out and they eat the cabbages
Quickly.
quickly. Yes, and make
Yes.
a mess.
What's the big worm? It has the big hook on the end of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Hookworm?
Yeah, I get I call it a hookworm. I thought that's what I would call it. But they get on your plant. Oh my goodness, they can eat up. They ate one bell pepper plant one day. Just boom, it was gone.
Yeah.
And you're going, it's just a little. Well, it's not big. It's about as big as my finger. And
Big
usually,
enough.
I usually get some tongs and pick it off there and throw it on the hot pavement and
And fry it?
Right.
fry it. Yeah. I haven't tried to eat it though, of course. But
A couple of times last year, we would leave home and the plants would be beautiful, and we'd come back and there would be not one piece of foliage on it.
Oh,
That
no.
something
Oh,
just
dear.
like a buzzsaw came through.
now the raised beds, do you find less insects in your raised bed, or is it still because moths fly and everything? But do you see less insects, or just about the same?
I think we have less insects. I don't think we have as much problem with it. We have it in a more controlled environment.
I think so
there.
too.
And raised
So-
beds, though, isn't moisture one of your problems? Though, keeping them wet enough,
Yeah,
or anything?
because
Do you
they
have-
drain.
Right. Do you have an automatic system, or do you?
And yeah, Ricky will talk about that.
No, we don't have an automatic system, but we do have a sprinkler system that's set up that myself and the other juvenile court worker, we take turns about making sure we turn it on, water on the proper amount of time, which is normally about 30 minutes each bed.
Mhm.
And so we try to maintain that their moisture twice a week at the minimum.
Yeah, like I say, anytime you do a raised bed, whether you will have a little bit more problem with moisture.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's true. And so I do a lot of planters
Uh-huh.
and different things like that, and so moisture is a problem for me also. So-
We have a vertical bed, and one of our master gardeners that was on last week,
Mhm.
Dave Hopper, he's a
Yeah.
very engineering guy.
Yes, he
He
is.
created a vertical bed up there for us to put some flowers in, but we're having a little problem with their drying out too quickly.
Yes.
So we're thinking maybe some portulaca or something like that might do well in there, the sedum or something like that.
Because it's right out in the sun, so it needs something that will take all day sun. And then also it needs to have some type of moisture there. And because it is a vertical garden, the moisture just goes, or the rain or the water just goes to one
Straight through it,
level,
right.
to a level, down to the next level.
Yeah, where the beds are, we get lots of sun, we get lots of wind also, so everything has to be able to take all of that.
You may put in some kind of the little pond pump that circulates a little moisture through there all the time.
Good idea.
That sounds like
Yeah, so-
we've got little drippers in there, but
Yeah, if something of that nature, because almost like a hydroponic system, every hour it puts a little
yes,
Little mist in there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that may
that
help.
might, that's why we thought of more the dry plants that could take
Call
that to
Dave
zero.
Hopper, and he'll have one built this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
He's very.
He'll
very
be
good.
right on it. I know.
He's a character.
He
Yeah,
is.
now we got another caller here. Good morning, you're live on Make It Grow.
Good morning, Ron. Did you learn anything from your gardening thing you went to?
Oh yes, I've learned a lot.
You know how to grow stuff now?
I harvest.
Red, he knows where to tell me to dig the hole. It's what he knows now.
There you go.
I
Tell you about that worm you was talking about with a hook on it.
yeah.
I had a herb garden one year, and they was down there just eating it up. So I picked them off, put them in a jar, put some stuff down in there for them to eat, and put holes in top of it and set it up. And they kind of weaved a cocoon around themselves after a while, and they turned out to be black butterflies.
Black
Oh, my
butterflies.
goodness.
Oh, I don't know what kind that is. I'm not a butterfly expert, but
But I turned them loose. There was 12 of them.
well, I've never kept one. I have different pets than you do, Red.
Kill them like that.
Red's growed a lot of corn in her life.
Oh,
Well, now let me take that back.
Grow it.
She processed a lot of corn in her life.
okay.
But I do make a garden every year.
So what
Good.
what are you growing this year?
I'm growing tomatoes, cucumbers, pepper, just the basics. I don't want no beans or nothing. I don't like picking beans.
Now, you know what, Red, you're going to have to prove that. I've never seen a tomato that you've grown or anything. You're going to have to prove it to me.
I've got 6 of the prettiest tomato plants you've ever saw. I've already framed them, and they have little tomatoes on them.
Well, I've got
wow.
blossoms, but I don't have any tomatoes yet.
But they're real pretty.
So what's your secret to a good tomato plant?
I got a green thumb.
Oh, okay.
Did you start them from seed?
No. I just bought the little plants and set them out.
Okay.
But they're supposed to make big tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
What time of the year did you set them out?
Oh dear. They've been out about a month, I guess.
And they already have blossoms on them?
They have little tomatoes.
And they have little tomatoes on them?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're doing good.
That is
Okay,
good.
The hot pepper that I set out, it has a little pepper on it, but the sweet pepper don't have anything on it.
Wow.
I haven't done any bell pepper yet. I'm getting ready to do
I'm
that.
not using bell pepper. I'm just getting that banana pepper.
I like those too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've got habaneros growing now and
No,
jalapenos.
I wouldn't even put that in my garden.
Oh yeah, that's good. I grow 4 or 5 gallons of habaneros every year and don't eat a one. Give them every bit away.
Well, have you ever tried growing a hot dog?
I've never tried to grow a hot dog. I've ate a few.
Okay, I'll let you go.
All right, thank you, Red. If you want plants, I don't know how much longer the Bradley High School greenhouses will be open.
They're open today, I know, till I believe 1 o'clock,
Right.
9 to 1. She's probably starting to close up shop, so you might find some things on sale. Maybe I don't know if she's put it on sale yet or not, because the school system shuts down at the end of next week.
And that's just an amazing program too. If you don't know that, at Bradley High School they actually have greenhouses and horticultural classes. See, Rick, I said I have a problem too. Gardening classes that students take, and then they sell the plants to the greenhouses. And I've bought several tomato plants and pepper plants and flowers. They have flowers. And
They
all
do
kind
have
of-
flowers, yes. They've got all kinds of flowers, all kinds of plants.
and it's really good. And it, like I say, goes right back into the system, just like you're going to try to do.
Yes.
Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland. Nope. Wait a minute, you're on Make It Grow. I'll be on the right program here in a minute.
Well, you're on the right day.
Hey, Miss Ella, how you doing?
I feel great. I'm fixing to go to a wedding at 2 o'clock. It's not my wedding.
Oh, okay. Well, we're glad to hear that.
Yeah, well, I've been married twice, and I went through it enough.
I thought it was 4 times.
No, twice.
Twice. Okay.
Yeah, there's a guy over here that's got a tomato in a garbage can, and he's got a plant growing in it.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 or 3 tomatoes already on the porch.
Well,
Wow.
yeah. Well, you can grow them anywhere. If you've got good soil, you can grow it anywhere. If you put water in it and light, it'll
There
grow.
you go.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd call in.
All right. Well, so is he going to give you any of that tomatoes?
I don't know. He probably will. I know him.
All right. You didn't go to Pokey's last night, did you?
Nope.
Uh,
And I spoke to somebody since he hung up on me.
oh, well. Yeah,
I mean, it ain't my fault. He's the one that won't speak to me.
we know what the problem is, don't we?
Yeah.
You rejected him. That's what it is. I know.
I rejected him. If he come up and talk to me, I would talk to him, Ron.
All right.
Not like that. I don't hold a grudge.
Not long, right? All right, Miss Ella. We'll see you.
Bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye. You can call us here at 614-5553. We'll be here till 9:45. And then today at 10 o'clock, the phones are starting to ring now. Good morning, you're live on Make It Grow.
Okay, you got it.
Good morning, Cleveland, Tennessee.
Hey, Kim.
This morning.
Great.
This is Country Boy Produce out here in Hopewell next to the Kangaroo, out here by Super Dave's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to run a special for the next 100 customers. Tomatoes, $1 a cup.
Wow, that's a good price.
Yeah, come on out here next to Super Dave's. He stopped by about 2 or 3 times yesterday. Got some watermelons for the kids and, and tomatoes and stuff like that. So come on down, tell your listeners. Country Boy Produce, look for the signs, $1 a cup on tomatoes.
First 100 customers.
Yep.
Sounds like a winner.
So what else you got out there?
I've got squash, cucumbers. I've got watermelons for $4, seedless and seeded.
Wow.
Yep. Best deals in town.
Well, that sounds good. And that's out on near Hopewell, right?
Yeah, in Hopewell, right there next to the Kangaroo by Super Dave's out here on Georgetown Road.
All right. Well, just going out by that way and tell them you heard it here on Whoop Radio, right?
All righty. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Well, this time of year, all these gardening markets and things will start opening up, and I enjoy that because the stuff I can't grow, I go buy.
She was mentioning about the tomatoes growing on the porch. Ricky had something to add about potatoes.
Well, you can also grow potatoes in trash cans.
Yeah.
And you start them out at the bottom. And as the potato vines grow, if you add material to it, soil, whenever it reaches the top, when it matures,
We
you
hadn't
can
tried
just
that.
dump out that trash can, and you'll find all kinds of good potatoes down through that.
And
So you just add the growing the soil and stuff as it goes.
Yes, ma'am. You just cover the vine up and just let the vine keep coming through the top of the soil, and it'll make potatoes all the way up and down the vine.
I sent
Wow,
Ron
that's
to
good.
get some ornamental sweet potatoes one time, and he came home with the regular kind of sweet potatoes, and we put them in our flower boxes. And the potatoes pushed the flowers up out of there. It was kind of fun to harvest potatoes when you didn't expect to harvest. We kept thinking, what's going on with our plants? Because they were just coming up out of the
We
boxes.
had a lot of sweet potatoes
Lot
last
of
year
sweet-
out of
more
our
sweet
flower
potatoes than we ever
pots.
eat.
And then I was replanting some flower pots, and apparently I didn't get them all out. And one of the flower had composted.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
so
yes.
that's I was composting.
There you go.
Didn't even know it.
And didn't even know it.
That's right. You can call us here at 614-5553, just like this caller. Good morning. You're live on Make It Grow.
Yes, I'd like to know how you go online to watch all.
Oh, okay. We're at www.woopfm.com. It's WOOPFM.com.
And you can watch it live.
You can watch us live.
Yes, ma'am. And you can
You can sign in and talk to us too on the webcam.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you. This is Make It Grow, a joint project of the Bradley County Master Gardeners Program and Whoop Radio. This is installment number 3. We have one more next week, and we'll be talking about perennials, I understand, next week. Or if you have any question about your gardening needs, whether it's lawns, shrubs, trees, how to remove animals, attract animals. Good morning. You're live on Make It Grow.
Hey, Ron.
Hey.
The other day I saw somebody had some seed, and it was donut seed. You ever planted any of those?
No. I've never been able to plant any donuts. I eat them before they ever get to the ground.
Before they go to seed.
This is Kim, Ron.
Hi, Kim.
How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Hey, we got the phones going here this morning, Kim.
Good program. Well, I won't keep you long. Hey, y'all got 3 of our best on there today, and I appreciate them coming. And and doing Make It Grow and all they do for the Master Gardener organization. They're super folks right there. I'm telling you.
Well, we're going to go to the graduation Tuesday night, I think, at 5:30.
Hey, all right. Sounds good.
I just want to see their beds in there and steal all the good ideas.
There you go.
Yep.
I'm not ashamed to steal a good idea.
It's a great partnership with the juvenile court system and the folks that's our folks that's doing that. We appreciate what they do.
And like I say, anybody needs questions about that, the extension agency, and then the Master Gardeners help with that program, and you may be contacted by a Master Gardener who can help you with. There's some who are expert in animal removal, some experts in planting from seeds or storing seeds, and there's a little bit of everything. I'm pretty amazed with the organization.
And Ron, what's our phone number, Ron?
728-7001.
Hey, I'm proud of you. You get A for this week.
All right.
Yay.
I don't have to take the test now.
See ya.
All right,
Bye,
bye-bye.
Kim.
Bye.
I like to get Kim on with the bee lady from Polk County and Kim, and they talk about plants and her talking about bees and harvesting honey. That's always a good show too.
Yeah, I think
That is
Myron
good.
McClary's going to be one
Yes.
of our speakers at the Master Gardeners, not this week, but in the following week, and he'll be talking about beekeeping.
Yes,
and,
he does that up
He
there.
was great talking about the vegetables last week. I'm sitting here going to make a note.
Yeah.
Can you come to my house, Myron?
The gentleman was talking about having seedless watermelon. They also have seedless tomato plants at Ace Hardware for those of you that need the seedless items.
Okay. Good morning. You're on Make It Grow.
Good morning. It's Lisa Poe Jones.
Hey, Lisa.
what's up,
Lisa,
sis?
hi there. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just called to say hi to you.
Well, thank you. Do you have some tabs for me?
Well, actually, no, because we have a friend in Nashville who has a lady in his congregation who's receiving treatment for cancer at Vanderbilt, and we have sent the last few to her.
That's fine. Excellent cause. Thank you.
But I wanted to tell all of your listeners, when they are filling out their polls for the Best of Cleveland and Cleveland Daily Banner, there is a category for Best Volunteer, and they need to write Deborah Flower in there.
They do.
All right.
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much.
And your favorite radio program is Old Town Cleveland on Whoop FM, right? Don't forget that either.
Yes, it is. But this lady does so much, not just with the Master Gardener program, Habitat for Humanity. I think she's worked with Cub Scouts in the past and so many other endeavors, and is a wonderful teacher, and I cannot say enough good things about her.
Well, Lisa, thank you very much for those kind words. I really appreciate hearing them.
So we still love you, and you should be getting an invitation to an Eagle Scout ceremony in about a year.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you.
So I have a son who's going to work on creating another park in Cleveland.
Excellent.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Lisa.
Yes.
Please be sure to remind your dad that we're showing our dirt track documentary tomorrow at Walker Valley High School, 3 p.m. It's a free show, and we'd love to see him there. There's going to be a bunch of old racers there that I bet he knows.
I will, but he has been a little bit under the weather.
Oh, no.
He had a skin cancer removed and an artery ruptured, and lost a lot of blood, and it's taken him a little longer to recover from this. And,
Well, I certainly hate to hear that. We hope he recovers real soon.
but I will tell him, and I think Lonnie and I may be there.
Oh,
Well,
good.
great.
We'd love to
Look,
see you there. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
I think we're going to have a whopper of a crowd there tomorrow. And anytime you have a big crowd, it's electrifying when you watch something
Yes,
like that.
Sure
And
is.
some kid sees his grandpa for the first time driving a car when grandpa was 17 in these movies is pretty interesting. Because the kids are go, that's not my grandpa. That looks like me.
And even if you don't like racing, it's just the stories and the events, and because everybody likes the fights, and we have a section in there where they talk about the fights. And they talk about moonshining, and they talk about we have pictures of a lot of wrecks.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Movies, old home movies no one's ever seen before, cars wrecking, and of course, and just it's a lot of fun. And so it's Sunday at 3:00 at Walker Valley. It's absolutely free. Come on up, and I think some people are bringing some antique cars up. We don't know. People they've just sort of
They
put
just
it
show
together.
up with stuff. So
Yeah.
we're glad to have that happen. But when you go to Walker Valley, if you haven't been there before, drive around to the back of the building. We'll try to have both sides of the building open, and at the back, and it's lots of seating. We have over 600 seats, and so just come on out, bring the grandkids and everybody.
Now, the last time we had a viewing up there, we had standing room only, so get there early.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's good. So when will your next class be? I mean, do you do it just one time a year, 3-4 times a year? How often does it happen?
We do it twice a year. We have a spring class that starts in February and ends in May, and then we have a fall class that starts in August and will end right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Now, any of your graduates, do they come back and see how their garden's going, or?
Well, not only that, we also have some of the older kids that is going to take the Master Gardener class.
Oh, that's great.
At the Extension Agency. So they're going to go on and progress one step higher in their gardening education.
Are you guys able to get scholarships for them to do that, or do you need the public to help with that, Deb?
Public help would be great, but we do have one scholarship available for that.
And that's $150. So if someone's listening and you would like to sponsor one of these former members of this youth gardening group to take the regular Master Gardening class, you can get in touch with Ron and I, and we'll set you up for next year.
Deb, remind me, I've got an idea for help fund those.
Okay.
Maybe we can get you some money.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, we know where there's some people that try to help people like that, and we may just be able to. And Deb's an expert at it, so.
I'm an expert at begging money. No, I have found that if you got a good cause, people like
usually
to
they help.
participate.
That's true.
It's just great to hear, and I always told people, I wish I had listened to what my grandfather had told me about planting. And I used to go to his house, and every row was perfectly straight, and and when he grew potatoes, he actually grew potatoes for the whole year. I mean,
yes,
and corn, and and he grew chestnuts. I think he got 55 bushels of chestnuts off one year. So, and
those folks that lived through the Depression were happy to grow their own. I mean, they realized the importance of growing your own garden and having enough food for a whole year.
And I know my uncle got a lot of that because his garden is just every row is perfectly straight. If the plant comes up, I'm happy. Yeah, it may be a crooked row, but but they just look so good. And you just didn't listen to what they said. And of course, on our show, Old Town Cleveland, we talk about what your grandfather used to do and all those great memories. And so, learn to listen to those older folks and write it down now.
That's right.
Go ahead, Rick.
Well, that's one of the things for me, to see these kids learn some basic skills that maybe in the future they'll put to use.
Well,
become a farmer, or maybe have to grow a tomato.
Work in a big box store in the garden. I mean, they can do lots of things with this. Ron, what do we have coming up at 10 o'clock on Old Town Cleveland?
We've got Ken Roark and Doyle Palmer. They're going to be here talking about McDonald. The Roark family is a well-known farming family out of that community. They're going to be here talking about. I
understand Kenneth not only is a terrific gardener, but he is a master at preserving fruits and vegetables, and we'll be able to ask him questions about that today too.
I don't have to brag to Ken. Ken's having a problem with his broccoli, and I've already harvested some broccoli. So I'll have to note
Last
that.
weekend it was like, here's you a twig and here's me a twig. We have harvested our first broccoli. Okay.
I try to grow something new every year. I grew those squash that looks like little spaceships one year, and that was fun. And I grew peanuts one year, but as I was digging them up, the ants decided where they were living, they liked them better than I did. And I was wondering why my arm was hurting. There was ants biting me. So I got a handful of peanuts. I grow enough stuff every year to have like a meal.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge.
We only had, last year we just didn't get any tomatoes, but we always jokingly say we have less than $10 in each tomato we harvest.
That's right.
But we enjoy it. We've got it out on our deck, and it's right there where we can keep an eye on it. We watch the squirrels eat it all.
We pickled bread and butter pickles from the cucumbers and
made sweet cucumber relish.
And then had took habaneros and we made stuff out of that. We made took our jalapenos and pickled those and have jars of those.
We usually grow enough bell peppers and chop them up and put in the freezer that lasts us a whole year. And they cook up really well.
Well, I've always said there's nothing more therapeutic than digging in the dirt
That's
And it's a lot cheaper.
The only problem I have with that dirt is it's so far down on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, as I got older, getting down on the ground means I'm going to be there a while.
Well, that's quite all right.
Well, Ron can sit in his folding chair and work on these raised pots and has a really good time doing it. Well, Ron, I guess we better get off of here. And we'd like to thank Leslie Humbert and Deb Flowers and Ricky Talent for being with us this morning. Tune in again next week at 9 o'clock for Make It Grow. Yeah,
and Miss Bumbarger is supposed to be here. That was the plan. We'll talk about perennials, those flowers you plant once and they come back every year, not for the rest of your life. So,
well, I mean, they'll come back for a long time if you take care of them.
Some will be 2 or 3 years, and then you have to recycle, and some will be there forever and ever, and they'll just keep on growing and spreading like that bush in front of my house that I can't get rid of. I've dug it up and burned it and everything, and it grows bigger every year.
Changes colors.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
Well, thank you.
We've enjoyed it.
And like I said, once again, this is a joint project of the Bradley County Master Gardeners and Whoop FM. We're glad to be part of this community event here. And I'm so glad that you're doing this program. This, to me, it's so exciting that we do this type of things. You said, what's 11 people? It's 11 people that we've touched. If we can touch one, I think we do a good job. You know, in high school, I know they talk about the dropout rates or that 2 or 3% of the kids are bad. And I said, that's great. Let's keep it at 97 and move it to 97.5. We'll never be 100%, but if we can help these kids change their lives. And like I say, they may be careers coming out of this.
Yeah.
Or one day they'll be teaching their grandchildren how to grow crops.
True.
That will be even better than anything. Thank you so much. Hey, we'll see you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
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 You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go?